Alright, this is our in-depth discussion on Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. If you can even call it that.
If you can even call it that.
First off, let's just start out by saying we liked his 07 remake.
Yeah, the remake was pretty good.
So we were waiting for him to follow up with H2. And I guess he really didn't even want to do it. And
so that just screwed his whole, drive.
But the Weinsteins were still going to go forward with making the second one, with or without him. So that put more pressure on him from the fan base to
yeah, but that's just
do the second
obvious,
one.
Though. That's just
so he comes along late in production, and it just shows, the script just shows that his heart wasn't even fully into the movie. So this is going to be an in-depth discussion, a review, breakdown of the movie. This is intended for if you've seen the movie.
We'll go down scene by scene. Alright, scene number 1, let's go.
Alright, it opens up right off the bat with a dictionary word, and it's just like, oh, the white horse, and you're like, okay.
And you're like, wow, this is, okay.
And then you see and then it's like the new Michael Myers kid, because I guess the
old one didn't want to do it, so...
No, he got too fat within like a year, so he couldn't even
so that already
play a 9-year-old kid anymore.
So that already ruins the second one already a little bit, so you're like, great, a new kid.
And then it's like the Sherry Moon zombie, she visits him when he's at the psych ward, and she gives him a white horse, and he's like, oh, this reminds me of a dream, da-da-da. Then it cuts.
Oh my goodness.
And it cuts, and it starts at the end of the 07 one, Halloween night, where Laurie shoots Michael in the face, and he's falling down.
She's walking away and freaking
she was walking
not
away.
saying anything, totally in a blur.
She's walking down the middle of the street.
Even though she was just screaming a second ago. And then freaking Sheriff
and then she's walking down the
Brackett.
Street without even saying anything, like it's the Texas Chainsaw
Massacre
Massacre
Texas
remake.
Chainsaw Massacre, walking down the street.
And then Brackett comes up and he's like, Laurie,
it's like so retarded. He's like, Laurie.
He's like, this is Rob Zombie's Halloween
He's like, how many fingers am I holding up? He's like, say your ABCs. It's like so stupid.
He's like, you're on this is a total movie. Calm down.
He's like, Sheriff Brackett's like, this is a set. You're on the set of Rob Zombies 2. I know the movie sucks. All right, go on.
Well, let's go.
Next scene.
And then so it cuts to the paramedics loading up Michael's dead body.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just a couple of white trash, typical Rob Zombie characters, like in a nutshell. And they're loading up the body, taking it to the morgue.
And then they're driving and they're just telling sex jokes. Oh my goodness. Classic Rob Zombie lines just to lead up to freaking...
Okay, and then out of nowhere, they freaking hit a cow.
Oh yeah, they hit a cow like it's freaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre again.
I swear, Rob Zombie, he just watched a couple of horror movies and stole a couple ideas and put together number 2
and you're like,
overnight.
Really? Okay.
Next scene.
And then then it does a close-up of one of the paramedics, and he's like, F.
Oh,
and he says the F word 20 times in a row, and he doesn't even cut it.
I swear, you can see all the scenes where Rob Zombie was doing filler, like, alright, film this for 2 minutes, and it's like a scene that just drags on.
It's like total filler,
for
the script, because it's just terribly, couldn't put it together. And then, so the ambulance is all effed up, but Michael's presumed dead body is still in the back.
So then he starts busting out.
Then he starts beating on it like it's a gorilla, even though he got shot in the face, less than an hour ago.
But he's Michael Myers, of course he's still alive.
And then a huge accident.
But I mean, give me a break.
But of course, yeah, he never dies, of course. And then he starts beating out of it like it's a gorilla, and he gets out. Kills the guy that's still alive barely.
And after he kills him, freaking Sherry Moon Zombie.
But then he looks up down the road, and then Sherry Moon Zombie in a white silhouette, like a white dress, she's a virgin. Give me a break. And then and then it's like a dream sequence, and you're like, and if you're watching this in theaters for the first time, you're like, wow.
And to begin with, it goes 24 minutes through the whole movie, and that the whole first 24 minutes of the movie is a dream. She wakes up.
No, then Laurie's in the hospital.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Right before that, Laurie's in the hospital. And we find out it's a dream. She wakes up.
No, Laurie's in the hospital, and they play the trailer like it's supposed to be a remake of Halloween 2, basically, where Halloween 2 '81 is set in the hospital. And you think it's going to be a bunch of tight shots like that. And then out of nowhere, like, the black lady from, like, Air Force One or something, he, like, kills her and she starts dying. And then Laurie starts walking around, even though she's, like, all effed up. And she's walking from room to room with, like, a respirator or something. And you're like, okay. Oh, then it's like a rain scene. She's walking outside, and then she tries to get out of the parking lot, and then the security guard, which is like the old guy from The Hatchet, and he's like, "What are you doing? Here, take my latte." And you're like, "Okay,
I'll be right back."
And then Michael stabs him, of course. Everyone's dead in the hospital, presumably.
No, another thing I don't like is, like, every single scene, like, killing scene, it's, like, all close-up, shaky dome.
Yeah. He does shaky dome, and then... because he calls it raw. His version of... I remember seeing, like, the special features, and he's like, I want to make it raw. And raw to him is, like, not cutting it. And having, like, his stunt guys, like, beat a dead, like, body bag to a corpse or something without him cutting it. And you're like,
the grips
this is
load
stupid.
up the freaking dummy with freaking fake blood.
It doesn't get the real effect of editing it. It's like, this
every
is the 21st
single kill,
century. You're supposed to edit it so it makes it look good.
Every single kill, he just makes the freaking same, the sound, like, and it's, like, so retarded.
Shut up. That's not even so later, you moron.
No, I'm talking about the sound effect.
And then she wakes up, and you're like, and it was supposedly a dream, and it's a year later, like October 29th, and then Laurie's having nightmares of all that Michael Myers from the last year, of course. And then you're like, okay.
It was like a dream.
And then we meet Loomis at the book signing.
Yeah, it cuts to Loomis' character, and it's just so pathetic how he just killed him. Killed his character.
And he's like a money grubber, and he doesn't even care about Michael. It's just a short introduction at that part. And then we'll get into that later. Then Laurie. Then it shows Laurie like rocking out at like the record store to like AC/DC or something. Like it's the 70s.
With her white trash friends going.
One thing I do like is like Rob Zombie shoots it like it's like a fine line between it could be like the 70s or now. It's like pretty tight how he does that.
Yeah, he does it all right there, but...
And he shoots his horror movies pretty dark. That's another positive thing about it. And then it's like then it cuts back to another Loomis press conference with like the new Michael Myers kid's like fat dome like on
like starting on the projector screen and then it ends. Like it's freaking go on.
And he's like, Michael is effing dead. The reporters are
and that
asking him.
part's just so retarded. Like,
even though he's the one who wrote the book on like how he's the devil and evil and he has a destiny.
It's like so retarded because Loomis is freaking he cares, completely, and then freaking he wrote the book on how he's so dangerous and he's telling everyone how he's so dangerous, everyone, always in all the movies. And then he just completely 180s it in number 2, Rob Zombie.
Yeah, he 180s
he's like, hey,
character.
he's dead. He's dead. No, he's over. Like, I'll give me a break.
And like, okay. And then so then they show another shot of Michael in a hoodie.
Oh my goodness, don't get me started on the zip hoodie.
Supposedly he's been homeless the past year, living in
oh yeah, it shows him like hunting, like eating a freaking...
He barely even made it out of Haddonfield, but then they show him like way outside of Haddonfield, like in the deep south later, or something.
Like in the deep south, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like,
and you're like,
wow, he hasn't used toilet paper for a year. Come on.
And then it shows another hallucination scene, and it's just like Sherry Moon Zombie, like, again, I love you, honey.
And like at the beginning, you think it's only gonna be at the beginning of the movie, like only one time, but then you're like, great, all right, and then you see her again, like, great.
And you're like, great, this is gonna be recurring.
And the white horse again, so go on.
This is a slasher movie, like, come on. And then he runs into the Hicks, and like they beat him down, and like it's like the guy from Batman Begins.
The Hicks show up and this is where you see a brief moment, like they show the front of it, and Michael doesn't even carry his mask, like he doesn't even have it on.
And then this is the first time you hear Michael grunt.
Oh yeah, okay. Michael Myers never talks, and then
he kills the guys without saying a word, and then it's like the girl left over, and he starts.
Oh yeah, he
beating
pulls out the
her
girl, and he starts stabbing her, and then he's like, and he starts speaking like, and you can hear him with, making vocals. And you're like, what the?
You're like, Michael doesn't talk, and it takes away from like
everything, the whole feel of the whole, Halloween genre.
Makes him less scary.
It's like, okay, great. So,
all right, that was part 1. Check out part 2 of the Halloween Rob Zombie
rant.